All right, what this will be is a little tutorial on how to adapt a PowerPoint to your specific lesson. So I'm on the page where I have the files stored. I'm going to go up here a little bit to the lesson I want to look at, which is 5.2. Now notice I'm keeping the original if I ever want to go back to make changes. And then when I modify it, I list it as 5.11M, I should say. 5.1M modified. So I'm going to open up 5.2. And there it is. Now, I don't need to have this one saved. So I go over to this in the left column. I'm going to right mouse. This menu comes up and I say delete slide. Now it's gone. Now this will be my new file. So I now go up to over at the corner where it says save as. So I click on that. And then it gives me my list, and there's what it used to be called. So I go into the box and I put an M after it. So this will be my modified file, and then I save it. So now I still have the original 5.1 in my folder, but now I've created a new file in which these are all copied. And as I edit this, I will save this file. So I think the title is good. I go here to terms. Yes, these are good. Again, this is meant to be an introduction to your mini lecture. This is the background part. And these are all good. I don't think any changes need to be made here. And this one as well. I'm not doing a lot of editing here. Degree. Now, to me, this is a little wordy. So as I look at this, I think I find this too wordy. So what I'm going to do is take this out of there. So I just highlight it like that with my cursor, dragging and highlighting, and then I delete. And I'll delete this line too. I could do it this way. And I'll delete this one too. Now all this is good information, but it was just a little too wordy. And again, I want to put my 2 cents into it. So I have modified this page to get it to be something really simple and degree of a polynomial. Well, I think that's okay. Now, another thing I can do, for instance, if I want to highlight this, I can now go up over here and say, let's change this to red. So I click on this letter here, and I click on that, and now it's made it my own in the sense that I've changed the color. Now, in class, with this projected on the board, I can say, well, this is one term. And what is the degree of this? Well, I can orally say the definition. And it's the sum of it. And I can ask the question, is there an exponent on the letter C? And there's a 1 there. So now add the exponents, and you get 8. So the degree of this term is 8. And then I take them right into here. So where I thought maybe it was a little wordy before, I have edited this. And I don't have to save it, or I could go back here now to my file and say save. And everything I've done so far is saved. All right, so notice over here in my slide column, this is already there. So I'll go to the next one. Now here they want us, if this is a function, find where x is a 1 and a negative 2. Now they work it out, and if you'd rather work it out yourself on the board, you can delete these. And in fact, I think I will. So I'm going to delete this. I just highlighted it with by dragging my mouse over it. And I will tell the students here this is stuff you can add now. Make a T-chart. And I like to put that in blue, so I'm going to highlight it, go over to color, and pick out a nice blue for that. There you go. In fact, I really think that's important, so I'm going to boldface it. And what I stress when they're doing function is to make a T-chart where these are your x values. And that's what we're putting here. So notice this is already like that. And then another slide is combining like terms. And I like this warning. And here is an example. Now, do you want to keep the example, or would you, or the work, I should say? Or do you want to just leave this line and eliminate it? I think I could work from this, and that would be what I'd keep. Now, adding polynomials. Okay, it's not too wordy. Again, I'm going to show them another method. So I'm going to delete that. And I will delete this. And I will delete that. What I'm going to suggest here is to line them up vertically. And I have room to write what I want to put there on this slide. And then subtracting the very same thing. Now they have two examples here. And it looks a little cluttered. So what I'm going to do is give myself a little more room. I'm going to delete that example. I don't need to have that there. And then this subtract here, I'm going to take it, and then usually there's a box in the center like this. I'm going to click and drag, which moves that up over there. There we go. And I'm going to work this for them. So I'm going to take that part out. And sometimes you don't know how much is included there. And let's see where we have here. Okay, this is all in one. So again, this would stretch it out, but the plus sign allows you to move that. So I'm going to move it up here. And then I'm going to work this one out too. So I want to delete all of this. And delete all of that. And delete all of that. And delete this. Okay, so I have two examples. I may want to, let's say, put a 1 here. This will be like my first example. Well, how can I do that? Well, up on the top here where it says Insert, I'm going to click on that. I'm going to go to a text box and insert the text box right there. Remember, I could move that around. I'm going to put in parentheses a 1. So I'm just going to move that box now where I want it, right? So there's like my first example, and put a text box here too. And I'm going to move that up anyway, so I'm going to put the text box there. Okay, and I'm going to move this up here. See, this comes as a whole box. I'll show you what that does. That just kind of makes it goes bigger this way. Oh, it moved it up too. So anyway, but this is the one to really move it where you want it, right there. Up a little higher. Now, the method I'm going to use to show this will be putting your terms in like vertical columns. And hopefully that'll be a technique that may lead to better results. Because sometimes signs can be forgotten as you start to do these horizontally. Okay, now that's the last slide. I'm going to go over here. Now, since I already saved this file, and it has its new name already, I'm just going to save it again. And it overwrites what was previously in the file. So now if I go to the first slide, and then I go to slideshow, and then from the beginning, and I can just click away, and there's my, now notice this had lots of wording there that I am going to add to the class, and so on and so forth, and just to complete them. Okay, now here I would physically make a t-chart, and then I would put this x value into the t-chart and then do the function and get my results and put it under the p of x column. And that's that. So we would then integrate this with a lesson that's in our mini lecture and ask students to work on these and write in their booklet answers. Something like this, I might ask them to write down on the other side of the booklet, on the free page, to work it out and give some examples. Or here I would ask them to make T-charts to fill this in. And this would be their participation as they are involved in the lesson. And again, pausing as needed, and if they're ever absent, of course, that's what this is for, or that extra review. Okay, we'll wrap this up.